I'm Amber Lewis, and you're watching Detroit 360. Come and be social in the city with me. There are so many new things popping up in the city, from new housing to new shops and restaurants. I try to keep up with all of it so I can let you know exactly where to go. And today, I'm here at the Detroit Shipping Company, which is a collective of arts, entertainment, music, a podcast studio, and more. Let's check out what they have to offer. One of the unique things about the Detroit Shipping Co. are the diverse menu items that they have to offer. From tacos to Thai rolls and the perfect crispy Brussels sprout, there's definitely something here to please your palate. All this talk about food is making me hungry, so I'm gonna figure out what I want to eat and leave you with this episode of Imagine Detroit.
How do you deal with people and not let that stuff get in here?
So their burden become your burden. And so you, as the mentor or the counselor, have to literally get away and just, clear your mind, dump your mind. That's why Jesus went up on the mountain oftentimes to pray. And what I'm saying to you is that every once in a while you have to take time to refill your pitcher so that you can come back to pour into their cups.
The issues that these girls and guys are having is so heavy.
And that's why I frequently take vacations.
Yes.
Because after you have to deal with people's burdens, what happens is after a period of time, it becomes your burden. Because it's hard to be sensitive to somebody else's need if your heart is not involved. Yeah. And so when your heart is involved and open, you will receive their hurts, their pains, and things of that nature. And what happens is it'll start affecting you. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes you'll wake up in the morning, you'll be emotional. You don't even know why you're emotional. Yeah. Okay? It ain't even your emotions. It's something that you've counseled that your mind won't let go. It's some people that you're concerned about. And so their burden become your burden. And so you, as the mentor or the counselor, have to literally get away and just, clear your mind, dump your mind. That's why Jesus went up on the mountain oftentimes to pray. Because after he dealt with his disciples and dealt with the multitudes, he needed time to empty himself with God. And that's why the scripture talks about cast all your cares upon me for he cares for you. All right, and that's what that's all about. You see what I'm saying? And it's hard to continue that process if you don't take time out for you. And so the question now becomes, when your pitcher runs dry, then who cup do you pour into? We don't realize how much it takes from us and how much we pour out and how much we give, how much we sacrifice for the life of other people. And that's wonderful. But who takes care of us? You see what I'm saying? And so you have to realize that when you run out, then nobody gets blessed. And so you have to say, okay, now I've gotten to that place now, I need to take a vacation, or I need to do what Tanya need to do, all right? So that we can kind of get that clear. You see what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things I share with everybody. Okay, that's willing to listen. That is, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a rough place.
So, as my mentor and friend, you already know I got to come to you and ask you some questions. So, I know as a minister, like it can get heavy because I know you are also a mentor as well. But what are some things that you do, or how do you release all of the heaviness that comes in your space?
A couple things I do mainly is going to prayer. And sometimes we have to unplug. And that can require unplugging from social media, unplugging from talking on the phone, unplugging sometimes from work, and just get quiet, get quiet before God and collect my thoughts and begin to pray and to start prioritizing to see what actually needs to be on my list.
So, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. So I was just wanted to thank you and appreciate you from imagining and teaching me techniques how to love myself more, how to make me feel beautiful, and kind of how to just open up and relieve the pain and let it heal and remove hate for more love. And I just appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, when I tell you, it's such a privilege and an honor to know you. I remember when we first initially met, and under the circumstances, I'm like, whoa, like the stuff that she's dealing with in her life is heavy, it's a lot. And I'm just grateful that you were sent to me for me to do whatever I could do and to see the beauty in how it's turned around and just how you took heed to everything that I told you. We talked a lot about praying and why that's important. And
yes, that's every morning, every night, at lunch, any time, any day.
yes,
Prayer, just shout, believe, and just have faith.
yeah, I remember when you came to me and you were like distraught and you were crying and like I remember going home, taking what you had been going through with me in my spirit. And I mean, I was just like, wow, like she got to come out of this. She gonna have to come out of this some type of way. And I remember when you came back to me and you was like, I just want to pray,
Yes.
and we prayed, and then I felt the heaviness lifting off of you. And then I saw that smile you got, and I'm just like, look at that smile, It's just beautiful. I mean, like, to see, like, thank God we don't look like what we've been through.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because both of us got stories, but to actually be able to get out of something because you went through it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it didn't break you. You know what I mean? And so because of what you went through, you're stronger. It didn't kill you, so you're stronger, right?
Right. So, yeah, that's what I do. Like, you're right, I was in a shell, I was broken, but I didn't let it affect my everyday life. But that's why I'm happy and I'm thankful and I appreciate that I met you and that you took me up out of it, because I used to, like, I'm ugly, I don't feel like I'm cute. So I just wear this to make myself unattractive. I was like kind of in a shell with pain and hurt and just torn up. So yeah, you brought me out of it. You made me see the better side. You made me see like it's not only dark, it's light too. And I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. I mean, everything
I'm so
has,
thankful for it.
yes. Yeah, everything has an opposite, right? So when there's sadness, there's also happiness. When there's dark, there's definitely light. And so what I try to do with my life is I try to make sure I focus on the positive, because the negative is going to come. In life, you're going to get hit with all kinds of stuff, but the question is, how do you respond to it? And even when I'm teaching in my sessions, when I'm in Imagine, I always say this one thing. Life is about 10% of the things that happen to you and 90% in how you respond. Yes. And so the question is, how do you respond to stuff that you deal with? right? Because if you respond in a negative way, the consequences are going to be great. But if you respond in a positive way and you just pray about it and you keep moving, then the consequences won't be as bad, right? And so, and I apply that to my life and everything. I apply that to myself personally. I apply it in a professional life. I apply it in the call that God has on my life to do what I do, to work with people like you, because I believe seriously that if people understand that we have to just respond to things differently, and we have to learn how to be wise about the decisions that we make, our lives will be so much better. It'll be better, What do you see?
I see pain, loneliness.
It starts first by acknowledging why you feel the way that you feel. Like, this is good. This is cleansing her soul. This is good. Everybody that's doing this is going to cleanse you, because now you're acknowledging what's in this mirror that I look at. And once you get a clear understanding of, I know exactly who the person is in the mirror, I know exactly who I am and what I done been through, can't no devil in hell tell you anything different. But when I look in the mirror, I see a person who is a lot stronger, because I wasn't able to do this before. And I'm truly grateful that I'm able to do it. A woman who was broken spiritually and emotionally and financially, in every way broken. But now I see one who is restored, someone who has grown, someone who has learned from life's lessons and is taking full advantage of what has been taught from trials and tribulations. That's who I see. Someone who is more spiritually grounded because of the situations I've encountered in my life. And someone who has the heart to help other people genuinely and not just because everybody else is doing it.
So we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and I know some people don't want the traditional food. So tell me what you're making here.
I'll make some Brussels sprouts, which is one of our signatures here. It's kind of good for the holidays.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flavor. There's a green. Everybody think of like green beans and greens, but add those Brussels sprouts are kind of cool.
Yeah, Brussels are my fave veggie.
So I fry them a little bit.
Okay.
Fry them. And then I add a little garlic in there. Garlic and butter makes everything taste better. Then I'm gonna add a little bacon.
I love bacon.
Bacon, garlic, butter, you can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong with that combo.
And cilantro, like I told everyone, I love cilantro. And so to make it really holiday, make it fun and festive, we'll add a little syrup in there, like 100% maple syrup. Kind of give you that sweet but crispy, salty kind of flavor from the butter. And then I'm gonna top it with a little queso fresco.
These Brussels are so good and will taste even better beyond the holidays. So make sure you come down to Chef Max's restaurant, The Coop, and check them out.
A synagogue, a sukkah, right here in Detroit? Come join me, Bethany Fisher, as we learn more about this special event happening in our own backyard.
Hi,
I'm here with Jody Rains, president of the Downtown Synagogue and organizer of Sukkah by Detroit. Would you mind letting us know how Sukkah by Detroit came to be a part of Capitol Park and the city of Detroit as a whole?
So first of all, the holiday, it's an agricultural holiday, but it's also celebrating the Jews wandering in the desert during the Exodus from Egypt. So the idea is to build temporary shelters that you eat and sleep in for a period of a week. And so we asked designers from around the world to do a modern interpretation for an urban setting of what one of these sukkahs might look like. Typically people build them on the backs of their homes, but we wanted them built in a public space. And so we had some very creative interpretations from 78 designers from 14 different countries. 5 of them were chosen to be built in Capitol Park, and we had grant funding to pay the artists to do those. One of them was a wooden structure with dried grass that made up the walls, and so they actually had people who were walking by help them create those grass bundles and actually help build the structure right here in Capitol Park. Another one was plastic vegetable crates that farmers can use to move their produce around. And so those were sent here from Gibraltar, the country of Gibraltar, and then they hired hip-hop architecture to help them put the sukkah together.
That is absolutely wonderful to hear. And so what is the lasting impression that you would like to leave on the city of Detroit in giving all these sukkahs to these different entities?
It was just a fun pop-up event that really just kind of helped liven the city, the park. And then as people were here, hopefully they read a little bit and learned a little bit about the holiday and the sukkahs. And if they didn't, that's okay too, because they were just there to enjoy. And then I think the icing on the cake is really having the sukkahs, these structures, actually find homes so that they can continue to be used by people in the city.
Sukkah by Detroit was definitely a cultural learning experience. It kicked off Sunday, September 23rd, and there were all types of events, from poetry, kosher meals, and even a party. The Jewish and African American communities came together to discuss a new future. And let me tell you, if you missed this event, then you missed a real treat. Sukkah in Detroit. If you want to learn more about events in the D, check us out on Instagram and YouTube at Burst Flair Detroit.
There's nothing worse than wasting time. Well, maybe waiting in lines. But now I can pay my water bill from my phone, tablet, or laptop. All it takes is a quick click and bam, I can check, manage, and pay my water bill from anywhere. That means more time with the family at Rouge Park, more time for myself on the Riverwalk, or just at home on Outer Drive. I can pay my water bill anywhere. It's that easy. So skip the line and pay your bill online. Visit www.detroitmi.gov/paymywaterbill to register today.
What's up, everybody? I'm Amber, and you're watching the D-Style Update, where we present, announce, and recap the hottest art, fashion, and lifestyle happenings in Detroit. Congratulations are in order for the Detroit media team. 3 of our producers here at the station were nominated for an Emmy through the National Association of Television Arts and Science Michigan chapter. Kudos to Felicia Wilson and Rebecca Smith on their nominations. And congrats to Jeremy Brockman for coming home with the trophy. Check out his acceptance speech.
Thank you to the Academy for this award. The Lyricist Society is a beautiful program, and I'm very appreciative to Quan Nellums for implementing that for young black men to give them an outlet. Thank you to my family for your love and support, Mom, Dad, my beautiful wife Sharday, my brother Vontae, my boys, Corey, Damon, Charles. Thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you to Joseph Harris and Aaron Foley at the City of Detroit Media Department and neighborhoods.org for giving me the freedom to tell the City of Detroit stories creatively.
And there you have it. Congratulations to the entire team, because you're all winners in my eyes. Now let's get into the music. Patti LaBelle and Babyface took over Shane Park during an evening of soulful sensations. The two brought out a crowd of Detroiters, both young and old, who sang along to their music. Babyface warmed the crowd up with his beautiful ballads, and Patti LaBelle, being the godmother of soul, tore down the house. Ice Cube, legendary rapper, producer, actor, and now founder of professional basketball league Big 3, came to play a series of games at Little Caesars Arena.
I'm excited for Detroit to get a chance to see the Big 3.
Cube said he loves Detroit, and I guess that's why we also saw him at Detroit Youth Day on Belle Isle. Check out his inspiring words from his Instagram.
Sometimes you can feel alone, feel like nobody cares about what you're going through. Nobody understand. But remember, when you see the adults in your life, no matter what age you are, remember, all these people in your life, they was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They remember how it was. And you can learn a lot from somebody who's already done it. All our young people, I want you to use the adults around you, especially the ones that you know care about you. Use their wisdom, use their knowledge. Use them to make it easier on yourself. Make it easier in life to get through some of these things that you don't think they understand, but they do understand because they've been through it.
A host of former NBA players were at the Big 3 game, like Hall of Famer Dr. J, former Pistons Chauncey Billups, and bad boy Rick Mahorn.
This is a special night, man. When you got something this cool, you want the homies to see it.
Okay, we in Detroit, Michigan. Everybody can see the Big 3, Pro 3-on-3 league.
Hey, this is Keisha Robert in Detroit for the Big 3.
We in the Big 3 in the Little Caesars Arena.
Now it's time for this week's Social in the City style tip. It's warming up in the city and bob haircuts are in. They're the perfect way to keep hair off of your neck and to keep it cute. Celebrities like Jordan Dunn, Zendaya, and Rihanna have been seen sporting this summer look. Make it your own by wearing it wavy, straight, or even with a bang. Spice it up and add some color, or keep it simple with a chic silhouette. That's all for this D-Style update. Tune in as we bring you more on art, fashion, and lifestyle in the city. And be sure to follow us on social media at City of Detroit. And to see Detroit stories, follow at Stories from DET. See you next time. So Chef Max, you're an international celebrity chef and you have an extensive resume in culinary arts. Talk a little bit about your background.
So it started from high school. I thought I'll be a basketball player like every kid out the inner city. That didn't happen. I made it to do some good things in basketball in high school. Got a basketball scholarship, and before that, I just kind of fell in love with culinary arts when I was hurt. I went up to dunk and got hurt, and so I was out for 3 months. And during those time when I was out, we had a chef that come to the school and start teaching culinary. And he and I just kind of hit it off, and I helped him start the program and really got rolling and found a true passion and love for it. And that's kind of where my passion, I think, kind of created this whole culinary movement. And so I started, working at different country clubs and hotels and restaurants. Just really honing my skills in different cuisines, different restaurants to see different chefs, and working behind some of the best chefs in Miami. But then I found, what's my niche is going to be, and I really wanted to be a personal chef, and so my dream was to go to the NBA, but also cook for an NBA player. So one of my mentors, he was the chef for Alonzo Mourning, and so I was kind of like shadowing him, and realized that was where I wanted to go, and that was my lane. And so I kind of hit the ground doing that, and started cooking for some of the who's who of Miami and of the world, got a chance to be the chef of the Prince of Dubai and travel the world. And
Wow.
so, that's kind of how it kind of happened. And then moved to New York and, cooking for different celebrities and athletes in New York and writing cookbooks and doing all the cool stuff that, well, the world thinks is cool. I think it's worked for me, but then decided to move back to Detroit. Yeah.
That's really cool, being able to do something that you love and not look at it as work.
Yeah.
So tell me about Coop. Like, what inspired you to open that, and why in the city of Detroit?
Yeah, so Coop has been something I designed like 5 years ago, and it was kind of sitting in the back burner. I was going to open it in Greenwich, Connecticut. I had a client that was in Greenwich that wanted to do a restaurant there, and asked me, like, Chef, would you be interested in doing something here? I was like, yeah, let's put something together. And they really wanted to mimic Pollo Tropical that's in Florida. So it's very Cuban kind of theme. I was like, I can't steal their concept, but I'll play with some of the flavors and passion that I had. And so when we first did Coop was going to be a Caribbean and Asian inspiration. But then when we decided to come to Detroit and open it here, and open in Detroit Shipyard, we already had Asian kind of happening. So I was like, all right, let's switch it up and just do straight hardcore Caribbean and focus on some of the cool islands, paying homage to Trini, a little Cuban, a little Bahamian, a little Jamaican. When people think about Caribbean, they just think about, Jamaica, but it's 5,000 islands out there. So Coop is just a blend and a fusion of different ingredients from different Caribbean islands. So you see like the jerk wings on the menu, you see the empanadas, you see the open-faced chicken sandwich, which is a play on.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about this.
right. Kind of play on the Cuban sandwich, and so it's just some real cool stuff that kind of like shows my passion and love for food, done in a food truck style way.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you talked a little bit about the inspo and the flavors. What are some signature styles that you try to incorporate into your dishes here?
Well, like here we have a small kitchen, so it's literally a shipping container, right? And we have an 8-foot line. So to pack all that equipment on 8 feet and to really do it right is really tough. And so, but I wanted to play with like a lot of cheeses. So we have queso fresco, we use Scotch bonnet, we use guava, we use mandarin oranges, we use cilantro. People make fun of me because I put cilantro in everything. But no, I think it's just because it's one of those ingredients that's really fun, that's flavorful. People say it tastes like soap, but I don't get it.
It's really good.
Yeah, I love cilantro.
If you like this episode and want to see more, follow us at City of Detroit. Check out more stories from the neighborhoods at Stories from DET, and tap into featured events in the city on Instagram and YouTube at Burst Detroit. I'm so glad that you guys got to check out the Detroit Shipping Company with me. And if you like this episode, make sure you come down to Peterborough Street and try it for yourself. Thank you for watching Detroit 360, your guide to all things Detroit. See you next time.